Hello my spooky friends, it is Stacy. Today I'm going to show you how to do a contracture scar. This isn't one I'm going to do in a little bit older, but I am going to do a binge series on how to create several different kinds of scars. And the way that scars heal, it just depends on the individual person, the type of injury, and what the collagen in the skin wants to do. There are scars that indent the face, which is what I'm going to do today, and there's also scars that are raised. There's keloid scars that grow beyond the actual injury itself, so you'll see them, they'll be wider. And then there's also the hypertrophic scars, which are raised but tend to stay in the area that the damage was created. So today I'm going to use a Rigid Collodion. You can get this on Amazon. I'm using a cheaper version of this because it came also with the remover, because the first things that you need to remember about this is you do not want to put this in areas around the eye, in the hairline, in the eyebrow, or on soft tissue like the lips, because it's not necessarily the product that's the problem, it's removing it. Because if you pull it without releasing it from the skin, because what this does is it contracts the skin and brings it in to pucker the skin on each side of it. It's also the contracture scar where you see like a burn victim or someone that has had grafts on their face. You'll see that the skin gets pulled in or sometimes folded up on each other. But today I'm going to use this one because I want to go with older to fresher scars to back to older scars. I want several different kinds of ways and techniques. Now currently I believe that this is the easiest one to use, but also that it is probably the most expensive way to go about it, because this bottle with the remover, which is this bottle here, but if you already have spirit gum remover you don't need to buy this. But I wanted to test this as a product itself, as a combo, and see if it's worth it. So this combination here was $12.95 on Amazon, but I know that a bottle about this size through Mehron is $7.95. So take into consideration your budget and what you want to spend on that. But I'm also going to show later on in a couple weeks, this series is going to be going from a expensive but the easiest to a mid-range price, and a little bit more aggravating, into a very cheap alternative that's even a little bit harder. So I'm going with ease, and I'm paying the price for it on this one, but I think it's worth it, especially depending on the time. And it also travels well if you're going to a horror con or you need to do makeup at a Halloween party while you get there. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to use peach tone to match my skin color and a little bit of brown because I want this scar to be older. So without continuing to run my mouth, I'll go ahead and get started. So I have the brown concentrated in the center and tapping that color out toward and feathering on the end. And I also went in with a more of a peach tone to fill in the colors, because I want the center to be extremely dented in because it's bigger. Now I have just one layer on and I'm letting it dry for about 2 to 3 minutes, and I'm going to most likely, because of this space here, probably apply 4 to 5 layers. I can tell you right now that you can feel it pulling the moisture from the skin. So the product's on the face, and what it does is it pulls from the moisture at the very edge of where the actual product stops. So that's why you feel this weird sensation. Always do a product test on your wrist beforehand to make sure that you're not allergic or have some type of reaction. And I can feel it, and it does feel quite odd. It is actually taking the moisture out of the skin, and that then therefore pulls it toward the product. So there is a little bit of sensation, but nothing to be alarmed about. I don't feel any burning or anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and continue to apply this, like I said, for about 5 times, and then we'll see what it looks like before we go further. Okay, so this is layer 3, but I'm going to go in with one of my bruise wheels, and I want to add a little bit purple. And these are very good. If you see these, you need to pick these up because they are great for traveling, and also you see that they have a built-in system for packaging that doesn't get all over the place, and you don't have to worry about repackaging it like other creams and grease paints. Now that I have that purple in the center, one thing I am doing when applying this, I am carrying this brush just beyond the actual line that I've created just a little bit, so that part that gets indented has no color to it, which I think makes it look the most realistic and the oldest, because I'm going to show you a scar that you might have never noticed when I'm on camera, but I have one on my neck because I had a spinal fusion about 8 years ago, and mine has healed that way. It is right here on my neck, and it goes from here to here, and it is actually brown, probably where he took his first cut, according to the x-ray. I love Dr. Wade, if you're watching. So I know for me that if this, for my skin, and it doesn't matter if sometimes scars heal red or purple or completely brown or just heal without any color in it. But since this one was significant and it was on the face and in an area that moves because you talk, I have a feeling that mine would be darker brown like this. But I'm going to continue on with, I want to do, I think for me, maybe 2, maybe 3 more coats. We're at coat 4, so maybe 8, and get it powdered and be done with it. So hang on, we'll get through the rest of it. I can tell you that this does have a very pungent smell to it, so you want to make sure that you are working in an area that's well ventilated. I would not run a fan on it because you don't want this bottle to dry out or your brush to dry out. So it's one of those where you put it back in and then you grab a little handheld fan to get it to dry quicker. And when I quit moving the fan off my face is when I finally start feeling that weird sensation about the skin being pulled just slightly, and that's when I know it's dry, and then I test it and then I move on. So that's coat 6, and I'm gonna do 8, so 2 more times. Rinse and repeat. This is coat 8, and I believe for me, I'm getting the full effect of this product where you can really see an indentation in the skin. And to get the most effect out of this product, if you want to create a scar that's indented, you're going to want to put that on areas of the face that has the most fat and water. Like you don't have that much up in here. The skin is thinner, skin is thicker, so the thicker the skin and the more moisture, the more of effect you will get. Now this is going to be it, and one more time to dry. And even as the layers go on as thick as I'm making it, I still find that it's drying in about 1.5 minutes, so it really doesn't take that long. This speeds it up, you know, so it's a really fun product to use. Hey, I'm talking over the fan. You remember we used to do that when we were kids? Not the same effect, but remember those big metal fans? That was our Instagram. Whoever's on the other side of it talking back.
Luke, I am your father.
Now that it's completely dry, what I want to do is get rid of the shininess of it, because it does bleed a little bit past the actual coloring that we did. It just a little bit, not a whole lot. This is from Mehron, but you can use flour or makeup setting powder. Just a light dusting. I like it when it looks a little wet in the center, because that skin's compromised and you have a tendency to be pulled to the fact that it has this sheen to it because it's stretched. So I'm going to leave that in and not worry too much about that. Just mostly that on the outside to get rid of the shine. So here is the scar. That's my old version. I would figure this one would be about 6 weeks 6 months old really, because of the heavy color still up underneath it. But again, a scar can heal exactly like this and be 10-20 years old. It just, most likely scars do lighten a little bit over with time. So I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer and let you see this is 8 coats with a little bit of powder, using brown and a little bit of purple to create this look. So now it's time to take this off, and the main thing that you need to remember about this is you need to soak the product to break it down. You can use 99% alcohol, but they also have kits which has the Rigid Collodion remover, and also you can use a spirit gum remover. So I wanted to test this product as a kit, even though I had spirit gum remover and on a cotton pad. I'm soaking it so I can feel it actually come through the other side. And I just want to take and pat around the area. This is another chemical that's extremely potent, so be sure to have a fan running. And because it actually takes and removes water from the skin and it causes it to pucker, it's going to leave a little bit of irritation, but it's not painful. And you'll see that. You'll see what happens once you soak it. You'll start to see the ridges come up. And once you see that happening, you can actually begin to peel, but because most of the concentration of this product is in the center, that's where I'm going to actually press my cotton pad with the remover. Plus also, I am wearing makeup, and I put this over my existing makeup, so I have product up underneath it, so it might be a little bit more gentler to remove. But if you're going to work on the set or with a client, I would recommend that you put this on a prep skin without any oil bases, and then color it to match the skin or whatever look that you're going for. I can feel it start to release a little bit, and you really want to get that product up underneath, and you'll know as soon as you start to peel it if you have enough product that's breaking down. But I want to try to peel this off at once. You can actually feel it beginning to lift, and you'll see it drying. And don't force it. You want it to come off gently. You don't want, and this is why you don't use it right up under in these soft areas, because you will have it, you can pull the actual skin because it's so thin. So if you're wanting makeup that runs along the line for a scar, at that point you should be using prosthetic pieces. That one came off. I'm just going to, it's not coming off in one motion. And if you're having difficulty, go around in circles. It's just a really good way to loosen up the product. And there it is, all off. And you can see from the product itself, along with the coloration, that there will be a little bit of irritation, but this will go away in under an hour. Just make sure that you get all this product off your face. You don't want to wear it any shorter than 12, no more than 24. Here we go. Just a little bit more product. But you can see with using 8 coats that it was extremely easy for me to remove it. And if you have hair on your face, it will pull it up. So you want to work in an area that's smooth. Even if you have the little fine baby hairs, you may want to run a razor over that to make sure that you don't pull up any hair. And as with anything when it comes to special effects products, adhesives and prosthetics and coloring, you need to properly get used to doing skincare afterward, because this is going to save you and make your skin feel a lot better after something. Especially like me, I tend to just rip liquid latex prosthetic pieces off because it makes for a better video, and my skin does get irritated. So practice proper health care after you work with special effects makeup and chemicals. So that is it for this look. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and
Pickle Rick!
so be sure to hit that subscribe button if you found this tutorial useful, because I am doing a binge series. You don't want to mix the next scar makeup that shows up. But if you want to see some more injuries and some more gruesome and gnarly gore makeup, hang out for this next video where I struggle to keep these staples in for this stitch face look. I'll see you guys later. Bye.